What's up, what's up, what's up? It's your man, Chaz Ellis, once again, answering the questions that you asked me. I asked you guys a question. I want you to answer it on the askchazzellisproject.com. Make sure you go to that website. It's going to be clear in the annotation somewhere around here, up there, down there. You're going to see the annotation. Boop, click it. Bam. Not too difficult, right? I can do that, I think. But anyway, make sure you answer this question because I really want to know what you guys think. What I asked was, do you think that you can be in a relationship with somebody after you've had sex with them on the first date? Do you think that you could still have a relationship after you've had sex with somebody on the first date? I want y'all to answer that question. Go ahead, click the annotation, get on the askchazzellisproject.com, answer that question because I really want to know. You know, I want us to get a dialogue going back and forth. Bam. Anyway, also, thank you for everybody who has been supporting me on Indiegogo. I really do appreciate that. And the way it's going to be from now on is anybody who wants to ask questions of any kind, make sure you get the email address. Go to Indiegogo.com. Right now, you got 3 days left. Go to Indiegogo, get the email address. That's going to be the way we answer questions because it has been so bogged down that a lot of people have been getting skipped over for like months. And I really didn't feel like that was cool. So that's the way we're going to do it because that's going to streamline it because a lot of people ain't going to put they ain't going to put the $10 in there to be able to answer questions. To be able to ask questions. I don't know. So make sure you go ahead and do that if you do want to ask questions. Anyway, the question that I got from somebody is, they asked me, they said, why is it that everybody I date just completely disses me? They said they run over me and completely disrespect me. And I'm tired of it. Okay. Well, that's a good question because a lot of people actually go through that. I get that from a lot of people who say basically they're like, all men are dogs, all women are dogs, all women of this race are dogs, all women of that race are dogs, all men of this race are dogs, all men of that race are dogs. They kind of have this thing where they're like, man, these people are, everybody's dissing me. But I'm going to give you some real information, man. Anybody will diss you. Anybody will dog you out in a relationship, period. I don't care who you messing with. You could be messing with the nicest person on the planet. Anybody will dog you out. People are different in relationships depending on who they think they're dealing with. Because what we don't know a lot of times is that we give off an aura. And it tells people what and how to treat us. People basically listen to how we're treating ourselves. How we take what we take from other people, how we carry ourselves. And that tells them how they should treat us. So even though you might get somebody who was talking about how they just completely bowed down to the last person that they were with in their in the other relationship, well, they treat you like crap. And you're like, what is that about? How's that possible? Well, a lot of times what they're doing is they're getting back at the other person through you. Because you'll let them. And they feel like you'll let them. Maybe the other person, they couldn't really say anything to him because the other person was like, you know what, if you come at me like that, it's deuces, I'm out, peace. And they didn't want that to happen. So they took it and they shoved it down inside of them. And now they met somebody who gave off something that made them feel like they could get away with certain things. So they just throwing all them punches right in your face. Just pow, 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 pow. Just catching you because they think they can get away with it. It's kind of like this. One time when I was younger, I was still in college, and I had a lot of sales experience because my dad sold cars for at the time, he had been selling cars since before I was born, and he still sold. So he had been selling cars for forever. And what he would do is he'd have me and my brother come out there during the summers when we were still in high school and have us sell cars with him. So we got a lot of experience from just being around my dad and selling cars with him. So anyway, when I was in college, they had this job for a sales lead. And it was really kind of like a regional sales lead thing. So they had like 6 of the positions available, right? And it was at this company. I'm not going to say the name of the company because they might try to sue me. And I really don't have that type of money to really be trying to fight a lawsuit with one of these big companies. We'll just say it's a big company. Yeah, that's all. I'll go there. That's enough because it don't matter. Anyway, they brought us in. They brought a group of people in. They was like, hey, you know, they advertised the job and brought a group of people in, and it was like, you know, everybody filled out their applications and backgrounds and stuff like that. And it was like a group of us just sitting there. When this guy comes in, and he comes in the door while we're all filling out our applications. Everybody had just got there. It really wasn't even, you know, when you're trying to get a job, you feel like it's a good job. You're dressed all up in your little suit, and you come like 15, 20 minutes early just so you can be there. Like, yo, I'm the first one here. But it's always somebody who got there before you. Anyway, it was that kind of a situation. And dude came about like 10 minutes early, but everybody else was already sitting there filling out their applications. So anyway, he comes and he has on like a pair of jeans with like a hole in them. And he's a big dude, big black dude. He has a pair of jeans with like a hole in them. He has on some boots and like a jacket, like one of them canvas style jackets. I don't know, but anyway, he has on a jacket like that. So he comes in, and the lady goes, says to some effect, "Are you looking for?" She's like, "Are you looking for the maintenance position?" You know, if she gives him like a thing to be a janitor, like a application to be the janitor, and he's like, he looks at it, and he was like, looks up at her, and he's like, "No, I'm not giving. I don't want the application to be the janitor. I'm looking for a sales position, a position for a sales lead. Why would I come in here looking? Why you assume I want to be a janitor?" She kind of looked at him like, "My dude," you know, you came in here. Everybody was looking at him like, "My dude." I mean, you came in here with holes in your jeans and boots on. What are we supposed to believe? But he wasn't going for that, right? So she gives him the application to be a sales lead. Anyway, everybody fills out the application and stuff, and some of us get hired. Guess who gets hired? That fool. They hired him. Yes, they hired him. I was surprised just like you are. So anyway, he gets hired, and this dude is a dynamite salesman. I mean, I gotta keep it real. Dude was dynamite. He built a client roster like that, and he was just, I mean, he was going, killing it. You know what I mean? Like leading everybody. He was amazing. He had a lot, but what it turned out was he had a ridiculous amount of sales experience. And he was really well trained. He knew what he was doing. He knew his stuff. I never asked him why he came up in that piece and them boots and jeans. I never even asked him. Figured it wasn't none of my business. But anyway, that's not the point of the story. The point is, when he came in that mug, he came in there with jeans on, with holes in them, and boots. And because he came in there like that, that's the way the lady felt like she should treat him, and that's the way she felt like she should address him. She felt like you give off something that says you want to be the damn janitor of the place. You know that whole thing that says dress for the job you want and not the job you got? Turns out that at the time he actually was a janitor. But, you know, so he came in there, you know, coming from his other job. That's why he wasn't as early as everybody else. Turns out that he's always extremely early to work and always stays extremely late. The rest of us, you know how that taper off once you get used to the job. So anyway, what he did was he worked his butt off. But the reason why that lady treated him like that is because he gave off an aura. That don't necessarily mean that was who he was as a human being. It means that he wrapped himself in a certain material that made someone think that he was the kind of person that, you know, that's what he wanted out of life. So that's how he was treated. Now, for some of us, we dress a certain way. We talk a certain way. We look a certain way. And because we look that way, because we dress that way, because we talk that way, what it tells other people about us is that we're the kind of people who take getting treated like crap. That's not just in relationships with women or relationships with men. That's in relationships in general, family, friends, people we just meet on the street. People think certain stuff about us because of how we look, how we talk, how we take in things. Some of us are really nice, and we might be like, oh, you know, it don't really matter. Don't worry about it. Or, okay, don't worry. You know, we have that kind of attitude towards things, and people take advantage of it. And they feel like, you know, we're suckers or whatever. So you might deal with things based on that. But what you have to think about is this. Just because somebody sees that in you from the beginning doesn't mean that you have to let that person treat you that way. People are like, oh man, you got to be an asshole to get treated with any respect by a woman, or you got to be a bitch to get these men to respect you. No, you really don't. All you have to do is when they read you that way and they say, hey, this is what I want to treat you like, this is how I want to treat you, you can just say, no, you read that wrong. Just like dude did. He could have just took the application for being a janitor and filled it out and be like, okay, well, this is what I get. All right. Filled that mug out, been looking all salty and mad, and been working as the janitor over there. He said no and got the application that he wanted. And then he said, I'm going to show you that I'm qualified to do this job, and I'm going to do a better job than anybody else. That's what you can do. When somebody come at you sideways, don't just look at it like, he could have said, oh, girl, you just racist, and I don't even want no part of this no more. And some of y'all throw away every single relationship because somebody comes at you a little bit sideways. And you think, I need to find the perfect person who never comes at me sideways, who never tries to see if they can get away with something. Well, that person ain't going to exist because people are reading you and they're saying, is this what I can get away with? People are going to always be testing you. And when you pass those tests and say, hey, I'm not the type of person that's going for that, anybody's going to change their mind and start treating you differently. But you got to be the person to say, hey, I'm not going for that. And then you follow through with your actions. If he'd have just said, I'm not trying to be the janitor up in this piece. I'm not a janitor. And then he would have came through and he would have had nothing to back that up and he couldn't sell anything, he would have still not got that job. He'd been working as a janitor at the other place. Just because you tell this new person, hey, I'm not going for your crap, doesn't mean that the next person's not going to try it on you, and the person after that, and the person after that. And if you don't have the substance to back it up, if you're not willing to say, hey, I don't want to be around you anymore, and you're not willing to say, hey, I'm not going to accept this stuff no matter what. If we're in a relationship, you're not pulling this crap on me. If you're not willing to back it up with substance, then the next person is going to treat you the same way. And eventually, you're going to get to the point where you're going to take it from somebody. So what you have to do is say, look, anytime somebody come at me with this nonsense, I'm not going for it. Tell them straight up, look, no, not happening. And back it up with the substance. Like, anytime they try it, look, it's not happening. Do you want me to chuck you the deuces? Is that what you want? I don't play that. People will start figuring out that they read you wrong. People will start figuring out that whatever you look like, however you talk, however you walk, whatever's going on the outside does not reflect what's going on the inside. Yeah, you could change clothes. Yeah, you could try to look different so people will see you differently. But you can't never really think. That man could have came there in a three-piece suit, and because he was a big black dude, they might have still thought he was the janitor. I'm just assuming that they thought it because of what he had on. They could have still thought he was going to be the janitor. It ain't about that, man. Whatever you look like, you can't necessarily control that. However you talk, you can't necessarily control that. A lot of dudes are like, man, I'm going to be an asshole to these women so they'll treat me with better respect. That's like putting on a jacket. That don't change what's on the inside. And eventually you're going to start giving that off to them and they're going to try you again. You got to be ready to be tried by people. You got to be ready for somebody to try to disrespect you or try to come at you a certain way because people in life are going to try to fill you out. They got tests that they want to see if you can pass. And when you pass them, people respect you. They have no choice but to respect you. People don't give you respect just because they want to. Because I said this before, if you are unwilling or unable to stick up for yourself, people only show you respect when it's convenient. That's across the board. That's everybody. When it comes to a situation where they don't want to respect you or they don't feel like they can because it's too difficult at that time, they disrespect you immediately because they can. What do you expect? It's not their fault. They're just doing what they feel like they can get away with doing. So that's why you find yourself getting disrespected in relationship after relationship after relationship. Because you give off an aura, most likely, that says, disrespect me. And when people do disrespect you, you either just walk away and don't ever talk to them again, so then get it done by the next person, or you don't stand up for yourself, and you just take it. So why wouldn't they keep doing it? All right? So that's what you need to do. Make sure you, A, check them. Straight up check them. And then show them that there's substance behind when you check them. I don't play that. Alright? Hopefully I was able to help you out. Once again, it's your man Chaz Ellis. Make sure you go to Ask Chaz Ellis presents the Game Plan Atlanta on Indiegogo.com. You're going to hit an annotation somewhere in here. Make sure you go ahead and support that. Get that email address. They got DVDs on there, consultations, all kind of stuff you can get as a perk. Make sure you just go on there and support that to keep this going and keep us running. Also, go to the ChazEllisProject.com. Answer the question, do you think that you can have a relationship with somebody after you had sex on the first date? I want y'all to talk about it. There's probably going to be a little bit of an argument on there because people are going to think differently. But that's okay because I want to be involved and I want some feedback. So go there to the ChazEllisProject.com. Answer that question. Click the annotation. It's going to be somewhere in this video. Make sure you do that. Once again, it's your man Chaz Ellis. Like and subscribe and share this video with your friends, with your peoples. Peace.